Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big fall sales underway, and the new truck incentives are off the charts. Over $5,000 in discounts on select new Sierras and Silverados and 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. $5,000 off, 0.9% interest rates on select new trucks here at Koppel. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street and check out that great small-town vibe with big city deals. We look forward to seeing you, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 3rd are buy a New York strip and get a free finished flat iron steak. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon, my octoroons.
They don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no matter. They are anyways. You guys are my octoroons. Salutations and pleasantries. This is Old School. Jay Foreman, DP, down here at the ticket offices, 1040 O Street. This is the Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese. Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. Every type of meat and every type of cut. The sun is out in beaming. Okay, it is hot for October 2nd. It was hot Saturday. It's we talked about it a little bit on the after game show. Obviously going into the game, the one thing about Michigan is why they were ranked so high and they're kind of given the benefit of the doubt right now is because of the I call them power positions that they have coming back. So a power position in college football is obviously quarterback, running back, skill position, and then essentially defensive line pass rush. And then Michigan has multitudes of players more. And so, going into the game, and also those players are very experience laden. So that means some are graduates, some are seniors, some are COVID seniors that are juniors, and you can go up and down the line, right? And So going into the game, you knew that, it's going to be a tough out because you're playing against a hardened team that can raise their level of play. It's the second week it's really their second week of the season because Harbaugh's in his position. Moore's back at the offensive coordinator / offensive line, so forth and so on. They've kind of got through the transition of their old, offensive coach that got fired back in the spring or whenever everything went down, and losing some coaches to obviously opportunities. And so you should have known, they're going to come down here and try to make a statement. Khakis is going to try to make a statement. He wasn't happy after the first game, but he was okay with it because it's kind of like your first preseason game against Rutgers, and they turned it on the second half. But you knew that you were going to get their best shot, especially on the road. And they were going to be more focused because as an older veteran team, experience, knowing that you're playing for bigger things than just what playing on this last Saturday, you knew they were going to come in laser-like focus with the purpose to prove a point. And so with that being said, you know that going when you're pulling up to the stadium, you know that when you're warming up, right? But that doesn't mean you go out there and not match it to your best abilities. And I said this before, and I just had a weird feeling that and you see this sometimes you see it a lot of times in basketball, right? Where like if you're going and you're playing, and it's not when like Monmouth plays Kansas or something where they don't, or like say like
Never forget when Monmouth did play Kansas and their player had the breakaway at the very end of the game.
He played the very end. Yeah, I love that play, right? He told him, but he's he ended up playing pros. He's still playing pros. But it's like if Providence, when they were first getting started and they were playing like back in when the real Big East days against Georgetown, right? Georgetown, the dominant team, or one of those teams. Well, when you go up there, you got to give them your best shot, right? And that's how like UMass came up there with Calipari. You got to give them your best shot, and if you don't give them your best shot, you you got defeated twice. That's why Matt Rule said Friday is very important, which was interesting for the players and the coaches. So that lets you know that at least from what I'm taking of, he's watching everything. Because that's his job to be the overseer. Who's going to challenge their players? I'd be very interested to see behind closed doors, and you could probably, I respect that not doing it out there in public because that's not really, in this situation, doesn't do anything. You got to challenge guys in the meetings. There's a lot of challengeable plays, and there were some guys out there actually trying to get down and get busy. Jamari Butler was getting down and get busy. Bullock on defense was trying to do his thing. There's some guys that out there was matching force with force, but then they were just out left there hanging. And that's what was probably the most disappointing thing was as a defense or an offense or say an offensive line, the pack has got to be that we are not going to bow down. And that wasn't the thought process for at a high enough percentage of players across the, across the whole team. Would that have made up a 45-0 deficit? I don't count the last 7 points, but would that have made up a 35-point deficit? No. That you could lose 35-0 and it looks distinctly different than that. Straight up.
So I guess the question for me is then two questions. Who's responsible? How do you fix it?
Well, everybody's responsible because when you lose, everybody's responsible. The coaches, the players, everybody's responsible, and everybody should take responsibility for it. That's just part of sport. That's just part of sports. You can't walk away from there because you might have had a decent game individually and think like, well, I did my job. You did. You didn't. Nobody did. The players on itself. And, I guess the product on the, Saturday was a reflection of 2 weeks prior. Okay. You go out there against Northern Illinois, sleepwalk, play, out there playing hand, whatever you want to call it, with the footsie with these dudes, right? End up turning it on. Okay. That's okay. Okay, I can understand you're coming out after, kind of slept walking. Maybe you have some after effects from Colorado. Okay, you got an excuse. But ideally, let's take what we did in the second half, Northern Illinois, and double down on against Louisiana Tech. Well, up jumps the cat. You did the same thing. So now we got a pattern. Right? Am I correct or not? Now we got a pattern. And I could almost argue that you did the same thing against Minnesota and Colorado as well, right? But the excuse was you're on the road. Or not excuse, but that's a circumstance. Understandable. Well, now you're playing against a team that's ready to deal, and you go in at halftime 28-0. And you just get blitzed and you just don't know what happened. You're on your heels from the very first get-go. They get the ball, you have a miscommunication, they get a third down when you should have been off of it, right? They get a kind of lucky penalty, boom, take a shot, phenomenal catch with great coverage. That's what happens when you play Michigan. Cause and effect. You didn't do the early work, third down to do it. Perfect call, perfect play. You didn't execute. Then the second play of the game, turnover, you're down 14-0.
But 14-0's not an excuse to quit and not play with fire. 45-0, I can see it getting beat out of you a little bit. But
you could argue that they weren't playing with this. They didn't come out with the intent to throw the first punch in the very get-go.
But isn't all of this true to the statement that you're measured by how you perform and compete against your best opponent rather than your worst?
Well, that's why. Well, that
we don't remember. Like we had to dig deep to remember Nebraska going and putting 84 burger on Minnesota. We can name all the best performances of that season,
right,
or any of those great seasons. We remember the best of people while trying to not remember the worst. But we're seeing this. Like this is a habit
for some.
Like this is a habit. Well, the program, because we're not talking about the individual players. We're not talking about the individual coaches. We're talking about the program and the team. So the team is this year's version. The program is the standing of all recent teams under that umbrella.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same coaches and stuff. So I mean, it's the same culture. I mean, in theory, yeah, but I mean,
if you're a Nebraska fan, all of it's connected.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of double jeopardy though, because if I'm the coach, if I came in as the coach like next year, yeah, I know what they did before, but yes, it has some. It's a we, but it isn't. If I lose a couple games, well, this is how you do stuff, right? I mean, in theory, we're both right, but at the end of the day, yes, it's a pattern. It's a snapshot into the program, but the program is where it's at based on previous. Partly now, hold on, partly. Okay, I stopped myself. Right, see that?
You did slam down those brakes.
Right. It's no okay. Here I'll play the opposite side of it. If we're 4-1 or 3-2, right? Say we're 4-1, right? Mm-hmm. Scott Frost and them deserve as much praise as they do for what they got going on right now, regardless of how many people you picked up in the transfer portal. You get what I'm saying? So what I mean is like some of the stuff is kind of like ingrained in, and they got to dig themselves out of it, man. And then how do you get it? Like right now, you got to focus on the season. The whole program issue is stuff that's going to take your identity and what you view as a winner has to be distinctly clear, and it cannot deviate. That's what is got to be seen. I know what a winner looks like. You know what I'm saying? Because I've chased it my whole life.
You are it.
Right, but I've chased it, though, in different ways. You chase it. Winning, and the thing about sports, it is the weirdest thing because you have to do so much, and as soon as you step on that field, you don't get anything in return. There's no guarantee. It's not conditional, right? I think some of these guys were thinking that football was going to be conditional. It's not, and because the condition that you're facing is other guys that bite back, and you have to have that want to go see it.
Well, I looked at it because I wanted to find the things that you can build on.
There was some stuff,
right, for a program that's down. Now, there's some backwards trend, some negative trends for the things that even went well. There's some things; those things still aren't where they were in week one of this project. And it's a project. There's so many unknowns in the science lab. We're gonna fire some, we're gonna miss some, we'll get some right, we'll hit on those. Hopefully we'll build on it. But you're not improving on those things, and there is still residue from what existed in it before. So to beat Illinois on a short week, you have to start to identify what did we do well Saturday that we can carry forward.
Right.
Because we can't start over again.
No, I mean, look, this is a 12 show series, right? I always, reference Game of Thrones, and somebody said the Game of Thrones is old school. Well, it just let you know Game of Thrones is coming out next year, so it's not too much in the past. But it's a 12 show series that doesn't have that there isn't any spillover. You get what I'm saying? It's like so it's like 12 hours of radio, but there's no spillover. J and DP, VJ and Farley, so forth and so on, because of what you said.
But isn't that bad radio?
No, because where they're
to not pay attention to the flow and energy in the room.
But they can't because of the circumstances of the injuries and all this other stuff, and you have inexperience at some places, because that's why there's no flow, because there's not a lot of veterans, and so you have guys that have been around a long time but they ain't played enough. So here's what you can build on. I can tell you this right now: the first play of the game, 9 guys. Take the quarterback out, right? Because we never count the quarterback in the blocking scheme. So take the running back out because he got the ball. So that leaves 9 guys. 8 guys blocked it correctly. 1 guy whiffed. You can actually work with that. But what has to happen is take the coaches out of it, right? Because the coaches are way over there across O Street. They can't hear you. They can't do nothing for you over there except for hope and pray that you don't drop your gonads out there on the field. It has to have guys internally, and we used to call it calling you to the rug. I watched Greg Williams call Pat Williams out. Said, dude, you making so much blankety blank, and put his stats up there. And he had everybody watch. A grown man. Pat Williams had 4 kids. I'm sure he was married at the time or whatever, in front of everybody. From that point on, Pat Williams was one of the most unstoppable forces in the whole NFL, and he'll tell you it was for it. He was embarrassed.
But are we not considering the talent of the 2 people in the conversation?
No, because when you whiff,
like those are elite. Hold on, those are elites.
If you have to block somebody that's approximately from me to you, that ain't got nothing to do with talent. If you whiff on somebody from that proximity, that lets me know your footwork was bad, your intentions were bad, or I would ask you if you were scared.
And then I'd ask, how is that possible in week 5 in the Big Ten for somebody that's being coached on a daily basis for whatever duration it is? There's no way an untrained person takes the field on Saturday. They're either copying or mimicking what they've done in high repetition. And if you haven't corrected it by the Saturday at 2:14, it shows up at 2:30. Nothing happened Saturday that we haven't seen in practice.
Right, but then my argument was, how does 8 other people do it right then? How does 4 other linemen do it right?
That's football at its core.
Exactly. So will you wonder why you don't get no yards rushing? Because you got to eliminate the whiffs. So either you scared or you not. If you scared, go buy a dog. I'm just straight up. Go buy a dog or whatever. Walk around with a ring set. Do something else.
You've given us so many moments in your career where, quite frankly, you had to relearn a lesson in game. And then you immediately took that and then changed it right away. I cannot believe that Saturday was the first time that the player 9 whiffed.
No,
we know,
but I can tell you what with that offensive line, you know what they do? It's like, when you tag team in wrestling, since you like wrestling, it was 10-man. It was a what was it when you got 5-on-5? What's that? That's like a bunkhouse brawl, right? Or that right? It's a bunkhouse brawl, right, or something. Was it a Cinco tag match?
Yeah.
They just tag in every time, decide to do it. See, the thing is like the Bopsy twins. You wish you could do them like the Three Stooges. Bop one of them up the head, and it kind of gets them all out of their system.
Yeah.
That's where it's at, and it's more magnified when you have to play the type of the style that we're trying to play, right? So how does Nebraska be more competitive for 4 quarters? When you look at Rutgers, how they did. Well, Rutgers started out real steady, right? And that's what you have to do. Michigan's going to test. See, when I said this, and people didn't pick up on it, when you play against Michigan players over history, You punch them in the face, they will quit. But what they like to do is come in and punch you, and you don't even recover. Well, they punched Nebraska dead in the face. We didn't have a counterpunch. Now, we're not explosive enough on offense, but when we're trying to, like, as a coordinator, you're calling plays, and you can read, like, I can imagine being in the room like, yeah, stalemate there, stalemate there, stalemate there, super duper whiff at point of attack, stalemate there. I can live with that. Good job backside. Well, then you're like, well, what do we do? You got to, I mean.
You get away with it against Louisiana Tech.
Right. This is the wake-up call.
You get away with it. And but it happened against Louisiana Tech, and you didn't fix it, knowing that Michigan's coming.
Right. But you know who fixes that stuff, DP? That's an individual choice. I talk about it all the time.
I know. You and I bump heads always on this.
Because I'm a firm believer development and getting better is 90-something% on the player. Because
then why do you pay coaches millions of dollars?
Well,
if it's 97% on the player, then why in the name of all that's good, do you charge folks to sit in various ports of the stadium?
Because that's their profession.
You're the pro. The amateur doesn't know. They're there to be taught.
Right. They're there to be taught. But then how do you apply it? I would ask you this. Valedictorians. Do you think they just go to DP's class and go home and they smart? They work diligently outside of that.
And guess what? I check balances. I check weekly. I check the work.
Right.
I actually go one-on-one to make sure that they understand it.
Right.
There's a difference. I'm responsible for every kid that gets a grade in my class.
Right, but I'm not asking you as a teacher. I'm talking about the individual valedictorian of a school. Somebody that's very smart. First of all, my brother's a doctor, I can tell you. So he's went to all the classes. You know how many hours they put in outside of it to be right. So that you're making my point.
Did he do it alone?
Well, when he's studying on his own.
Did he learn on his own?
No, he went to class.
He went to class, got guidance, he got rules,
and then he applied.
He got a checklist, and then he applied.
And then that's why I said.
And if he
that's
didn't
why
apply
I said I would donate $1,000 for them to come to work with Jay Foreman.
I'm with you.
And so we're both correct.
Oh no, this is how I know. This is how I know I could coach with Jay. Because Jay's going to hit some of the stuff that I'm going to miss.
But that's what assistant coaches for.
And that's what's missing,
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's what's missing.
And here's what I mean by assistant coaches. I mean, okay, here's an example, right? I'll give an example. So Coach Osborne's the overseer of our triangle or whatever, or whatever you want to call it, right? He's the mafia boss. Okay. Charlie McBride and say Coach Solis are the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, respectively. Okay, their personality is just it's like a overflow, right, of Coach Osborne water that goes into McBride. But how McBride takes that water has the main ingredients of whatever the Nebraska motto is, right? Then you go into Coach Sam. Then you got Coach Steele or Coach Bowl that was there, and then you got George Darlington, right? So it's all different personalities, but every one of those coaches, right? So Coach Sam's in there.
Yep.
Okay. Guess who his evil twin is? McBride. Okay. You got Coach Steele. Guess who his evil twin is, or vice versa. Everybody just up in there doing it different ways because the way that you have to communicate with Jay is different than Austin and DP.
If it's not landed, and if it doesn't show up on the scoreboard and in the work, you have to change. And you can't change 150 players.
No.
You can change 80. We know that now. We can't change 150. But in the core group of 12, the grown-ups, the paid professionals, at some point, they've got to get it right. That's literally
right. But they've only been doing it for 5 weeks. I know for a fact. I know for a fact DPE or DP BDP Productions, okay? DP Productions didn't change everything here in 5 weeks. I know that for a fact. Okay, so don't even go there. So I already know we didn't had the conversation,
right?
Okay,
right.
So it takes longer.
It takes a lot.
Exactly. So sit over there.
We're not playing the same game we were playing 5 years ago.
No, we're not.
And we changed the talent. because talent is coachable.
But it took over time. But there's some talent that ain't coachable.
I laugh about this.
Okay.
And this is what I say to people, because people say this all the time. On the streets here, the conversations I get into are just that. The ticket works because I'm a coach. Talented people, and then the whether it's the least talented person or the most, I've got to figure out how to get the best of both of them to meet in a place where we're accomplishing the same thing. And when holes happen, I have to fill them. Like, I have to fill them.
Right.
And I can't sit back and go, hey.
But you can't do that.
That's on the intern. The intern is – everybody else got it right on Saturday. The intern hit the wrong button, and we out of luck.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
But that's totally
get it done.
I understand that, but in reality, and I'm not making any excuses because I'm a firm believer. Everybody over there is highly compensated.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is the reason. And before we go to break, this is how I came to this mindset. I remember distinctively. I was talking with Lloyd Parker, who played basketball at Kansas State. Funny story how I met Lloyd Parker. We were hooping at the YMCA. I told him where I was from, and he's like, yeah, man, back in the day, I used to play against this old Viking named Chuck Foreman. He thought he could hoop. He didn't know who I was. I told my dad. So that's how we became best friends, right? And he lives out in California now. We were talking about, I think, the Panthers or actually, I think when Tennessee got rid of Philip Fulmer.
Okay.
And people were talking about how much money he was making. And we were talking about transition and all this other stuff. He said, no. In my world, in banking, because he at that time he was working for Wells Fargo, and he said, listen, you are paid that type of money, so people don't even care about what the circumstances, right? So in that sense, yes, I understand they're highly compensated. They got to figure out a plan. They don't have it like with DP right here. He don't have the ability to step in and play. Now, granted, none of the coaches could play, but in theory, they can't play. What's got it? The best teams, that's why I say the best teams are player-led. So then you have to look internally and ask these dudes, right? And somebody's got to ask them. Mm-hmm. So whether it's the head coach, whether it's the D coordinator, whether it's Tony White or whatever, who are you?
Right.
Because everybody that I saw that up in this point was for Saturday, right? I'm not drawing a conclusion. You're up to that point. You kind of showed me who you are. Saturday, everybody's allowed to have an off day, but that whole team had an off day. Okay, well then, come Friday, I got to see who I know. See, I'm challenging you in a different way. I'm not. I mean, yes, I'm coming down on you, but I got to see who you are.
And I'm not basing the State of the Union on Michigan. Michigan was just a confirmation about the things we saw in the previous 4 weeks. That's where I have issues.
Michigan was a wake-up call to some players who were hearing you that weren't listening.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you, as a coach, they will hear you until you listen. And I have been there. And every great player, Michael Jordan talked about when he had to go home crying to his mom. You better get better. It ain't on the coach. Now, in some cases, there is. In this case, with this amount of opportunity for these players, number one, you got more opportunity than I ever had. That's to play every single snap on defense if you can handle it. Yeah. Right? I'm just talking from a defender. Yeah. You don't have it. And then also, as a younger player, you have a clear path to get where you want earlier in your, even though I started as a freshman, realistic path to get where you want a lot earlier than I did. Yeah. And you have the ability to stake claim to some stuff because we aren't a rush-in defense. We aren't a running back university anymore. So if you go and make a name for yourself with this new regime, well, then that's what Nebraska could be known for, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, Nebraska is an empty, it's a dry erase board at this moment.
Exactly. So that's why I say, that's why it's on I feel like more of it is on the leadership in that locker room's got to tighten up and be more authoritative and demanding, right? And demanding of each other.
But that I'll ask you to give this answer when we get back from break. But who is it that's going? Who can? I don't know that there's anybody in that locker room who can do the things that you're going to ask them to do that need to be done. I'll ask you for your answer when we come back.
All right, we're going to go to break. Hit it, Austin.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 3rd are buy a New York strip and get a free finished flat iron steak. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big fall sales underway, and the new truck incentives are off the charts. Over $5,000 in discounts on select new Sierras and Silverados, and 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. $5,000 off, 0.9% interest rates on select new trucks here at Koppel. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street and check out that great small-town vibe with big city deals. We look forward to seeing you, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Killing me, man. They be winning the fight against me.
You got to spin them and flip.
Yeah, I know, man.
Strick was struggling worse than you.
Yeah, I know.
Let's not give him a pass for that.
Yeah.
Well, I had to point out it has the letter inside, so as long it's just telling you to flip it.
Strick took the standing 8 count on these bad boys, but yeah, you know who's gonna do? I think it's got to come from a multitude of players. I think that the guys, first and foremost, you know, before any, because talking's been done enough at this point, right? Like outside, you know, like the social media and stuff. So what really needs to happen is everybody, number one, has to understand their biggest opponent is themselves. That's the team that you practice with and against Nebraska. And then the players, your named players or your older players or the guys that get the most reps or, you know what I'm saying? The guys that were your starters need to all step up their game. Then the guys that is natural to them, right, have to step up in leadership roles. So you'll have guys that, I call them E.F. Hutton guys, right? And that's like a Tony Veland, and one of them was like Andre Johnson. Like, he never said anything until, like, when he said, everybody was like, whoa. Right? Those guys got to do their thing. And then you got your emotional leaders. They got to, do their thing. And you have guys that are going to probably be, the in-between. Everybody has to step up. And, yeah, it's got to be some team-led stuff. But then also, with that has to come with production. That means the little details. That means the footwork stuff, the stuff that you might have let slide or you thought you had under pat. You got to, like I said, I would like to see if they had a how you have like a timer, you can do your steps.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how much they sacrifice. How much extra free time are you going to give this week on a short week because you're not going to be as physically demanding because you're one less day in practice? How much more are you going to give me from a mental standpoint? Because as much as it's physical, it is mental. And you want to know how you look soft, right? And to play football, number one, you got to have courage. You got to be tough. Anybody that plays football, you got courage and be tough. One of the things I learned, actually, Austin, playing against your Indianapolis Colts, and I remember playing this game, and I'm like, dang, Jay, like, used to be just, shocking and releasing off of, Steve McKinney and remember the one, Pico, the offensive lineman number 56. I used to be just melting these dudes. So I was like, what was going on? And one day he caught me slipping. I slipped and looked like he paid me. Oh, boy, I was mad at that. I thought they were going to cut him. I was like, I got to get him next year. So I had to watch the game twice. First time was more emotional field. Like, I couldn't see anything. But then I remember Reggie Herring, who was actually coaching at NC State then, he's like, look at your feet. Look at your footwork. I guarantee it's your footwork. So what was happening was I was seeing things that weren't there. My footwork was bad. Then that led to my leverage. That led to the power. It actually made me misread things, which then made me look soft, which then made the whole defense look soft. It wasn't predicated on me, but we all were doing it. It was like we all signed up to be dummies that day. And you know what it was? We were very emotionally invested in that game, where then we were probably practicing and things based on emotion. And you can't do that against a very well-oiled machine with one of the best quarterbacks of all time and Peyton Manning and Hall of Fame everywhere. You can't do that. So that's what happened to that Nebraska defense, right? It was a couple guys that got out. They were too much pitter-patter and a lot of hopping around. Like, no, dude, you got to go get it. Offensively, there were some things that you're not going to bowl over Michigan. So what you have to do is when you go against a defensive line in a defense that is strong, right? First of all, Chris Jenkins Jr. 6'4", 300. I stood right next to him. Different. Listen, my man was down this low, and he's 300 and some pounds, right? So. And they are a really, really good coach. So they keep their pad square even when they're shooting gaps, right? So they're owning the gap and kind of like boxing you out, right, Austin? When you think about it, they're getting big in there.
So they're talented and well coached. Okay, right. Go ahead.
So what you have to do to combat that, right, is instead of trying to go pad to pad with them, because that's what I want you to do that when I'm square, right? Because I can actually just ricochet you off. I don't even have to hit you with power. You gotta, when you're trying to move a defensive line like that, you got to be down and you got to shoot for the hip. And that wasn't done enough.
Low man win sort of thing.
Yeah. So if you look back at that 4th and 1 play.
Yeah, that part.
Now granted, they were on the guys, but that's what that's what we're talking about. You got to get lower than these dudes. So what they could do, or at least I would do, is one, you got to eat this butt kicking up. Not only you got to look at your execution, but then you got to show appreciation of how they kicked your butt and then learn from it that way. You get what I'm saying? So, and then also, if I'm trying to teach the defensive line, right, and I think Pot Rose does a great job, is I'm taking my defensive line, or not taking them in there, but watching the tape as well. So when I tell you you need to be square, Nash, Look at Big 78 being square. Okay, you want to take a chance, right? You got to read the guard. You got to read the off. When I tell you got to read the off guard stance, when you know he's coming down and crack your head open, right? First play of the game, swam Nuri, blew the play up. You got to have calculated guesses based on your film work, based on your practice work. Then you can become a good defense. You can take a lot from that butt kicking and use it in a positive way. If done right, that's an individual choice as well. But then also you got to take what you applied from that butt kicking and then practice differently and with the different. How many times have I came in here and talked to you guys about intent? Intent, right?
Yeah.
Intent is what gets you through this. The intention.
Here's so as off time, I'll put on the game while we're doing the show.
Right.
Just a reminder. And as you're talking about all of those things,
right?
The first two series, there's a thing that when defensive linemen get turned to the sideline.
Yeah,
we would always say, I don't ever want to see your name or number on the sideline.
Right.
I shouldn't see it.
Yeah, no player.
I shouldn't see it. But if you go to and I'll share it so folks understand it. There's a difference between turning and being turned. Intention. To watch the first 5 Huskers in play defensively, all with numbers sideways, and then trying to figure out why you're getting gashed. And there's no resistance. I actually cheered on the third play when they actually got driven downfield 4 yards, because at least they provided some.
If I take on a double team between Larry Allen and Eric Williams, I'm gonna get turned, but I'm gonna fight it though, right? And
well, isn't it better if you just make a pile?
Well, yeah, but I'm just talking about if I fight it and say Eric Williams comes off on me, and well, first of all, if I get double teamed, somebody better make the play, right? Because I ain't gonna be taking on these two. But what I'm saying, getting turned versus turning is two different things. That's the difference between staying square. Once one of the things that I think it's always, well, I guess for me as a former player, it's always good to. I feel like I'm not going to get on this microphone and act like I was the best of all time, because if I was, I would be in Canton.
Well, you're in a Hall of Fame,
right?
You're in several Hall of Fame.
I am, but I'm talking about. But I still, but here's the one thing that rings true, and I could almost bet every Hall of Fame that's in the big Hall of Fame and over there at Nebraska as well. You took your fair share of butt kickers, and I will tell you this: as a rookie in the NFL. I was plenty strong in the weight room. I mean, I played at Nebraska. We were plenty physical. I felt like I could get off blocks. I played in the bubble and all that or whatever. But in the pros, hey, man, I was struggling at times to get off blocks and being plenty strong. The first impulsive response is I got to hit the weight room harder. I got to run into them harder. Well, I learned this by going against Jamie Nails. Okay, Jamie Nails played at Florida A&M. I have no reason why. I don't know why he didn't go anywhere else, but except for Jamie Nails was 6'6", and he played for the Dolphins after playing with me in Buffalo. Easily 375. But my big man could run. And I would be hitting him, and he would just be absorbing and laughing at me. I would do everything, headbutting him, hitting him underneath the chin. Then I saw that we had this linebacker named John Hollister, who was a great mentor to me, and Sam Coward. And I just watched them. And all they did was stay square. They would take on Jamie and be square and kind of just bump him and just shock him a little bit. And it took me, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 weeks of training camp. You know what I mean? Then it was like almost like the sun comes up or whatever. That goes to defensive line as well. I talked about this defense, how I liked it, but what it would come down to when you play against a team like Michigan, right? And granted, they learned probably a lot from TCU because it's kind of the same defense, but not, is if you do a lot of, stunting in gaps, and this is what Michigan does, they'll stunt into the gaps, but they'll square up real quick. So it's like one step up forward.
Yeah, you get small and get big.
Yeah, and get wide, right? So that's, I think, a learning lesson from them for them, and they learn the hard way. But I think if they take the teaching lesson, aka the butt kicking, it'll work out well for him. But I'll tell you what, though, I can tell you this. There was a couple plays, I think, in the first, let me see. So Michigan, they might have been up 14-0. John Bullock went down in kind of like of a Sam linebacker position, right? And so he was on the tight end, and they ran like kind of a stunt with him and Jamari Butler. And Jamari Butler played this play was really good as well. So Bullock had to take on the tight end, and then the wing came and got him. Well, he shocked the first guy, worked through the second guy, and made the tackle. Jamari Butler looped around, took on the fullback, threw the fullback down, who was number 44. They both got in on the play. So there's stuff that you can kind of see some guys. Now, granted, those are two guys that are just learning, but they, you know what they're doing? They're going out there and setting the tone. Now, did they do it all game long? I don't, most likely not. But they had the right intentions on a lot of those plays that I was watching. So it can be done, right? And that's where that's where you see a team that's able to win 4 of the last 7. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to be, this isn't the transfer portal like the NBA trade deadline where you can go and, we'll take all the Michigan State's good players, or we're not there yet. I can envision it happening, but it's not going to happen this year. So in order to get to where everybody says they want and get the reward for all the work that you put in, now you got to start working smarter, and working smarter during the season is actually looking at your weaknesses as much as your positives, because you want to hide those weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where people are going to try to attack you, and you're going to get it's just like, okay, we talked about this was your first semester test, right? You failed this one. Everybody failed. How many times, in Austin, you know this in basketball, how many times you feel like, man, we lost the game, or we didn't put on our best performance. We'd really like to play that team again. It's hard in the summertime to do it because you lose to a team that's from like Kansas City or Tennessee. You don't get to play them again unless you get luck. They get lucky to play a team like this again right one day earlier. This is a great opportunity for them to right the wrong, and because there was a lot to be had out there. And it's a good teaching tape. It's a good coaching tape. It's a good coaching tape from top down, which is Matt Rule, Tony White, Marcus Satterfield, teaching these coaches what they expect, the expectations are, play by play. Look, these are late nights, man. This is do it. We're talking about, hey, this is a breaking the pattern. We're gonna go into break, catch back up, short segment, top of the hour. We got some different depth chart news I think I saw, so we're gonna talk about that, what that could mean. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is this you? You feel the same way every day, and it's not good. You may think there's a magic pill that can fix you. There isn't. Limitless Male has found that the majority of men who admit they feel bad are suffering with low testosterone, which can cause these symptoms: low energy, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, low libido. Sound familiar? Get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. Your first consult is free. Insurance accepted.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big fall sales underway, and the new truck incentives are off the charts. Over $5,000 in discounts on select new Sierras and Silverados, and 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. $5,000 off, 0.9% interest rates on select new trucks here at Koppel. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street and check out that great small-town vibe with big city deals. We look forward to seeing you, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, but it's not just me. Folks all over town are having success with the FXB program. Guys like Gary, who just finished up his own 10-week challenge.
Yeah, Mark. After having a knee replacement in March, I was looking for a way to get back into shape. The workouts are fun, the atmosphere is a total blast, and I've lost 17 pounds since starting in July.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador, online at prg-ne.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Quick segment. Jay Former DP putting a bow on Michigan shellacking. Next up, fighting the Illini. They're 2-3. They're 0-2 in the conference. So you're looking at a team right in the face Friday night, 7 p.m. That looks a lot like you. And there's a lot to be had. They're coming off a pretty embarrassing loss against the Purdue Boilermakers. But that doesn't mean that Nebraska will, automatically win. But it's a great opportunity because the same things that the Boilermakers have exposed, Nebraska can expose. But the same things that Michigan exposed, Illinois is going to try to expose. It's going to be a great test in recovery, reception, and I mean be receptive of, what you didn't do well and what you did well and what you need to obviously drastically improve on. And then also it's going to be really a test of adjustments, right? And all that stuff falls on all three levels, coaching, players, I don't know what else, support staff and everything like that. So it's got to be all hands on deck. It'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a close game, a tough game, definitely a winnable game. And it's a game that you could, springboard some things. Doesn't got to be pretty, can be ugly, as long as you get that W, and that's all that matters. So it's a lot to take. I don't think Nebraska's 45 points lower than Michigan. I just feel like on that day, that's what they played. I don't necessarily know if they were really intent on going out there to prove themselves.
It's like I said, don't go back and watch the film. That's what.
Oh no, you gotta watch this. The thing is, this is a film. This is a film in an effort that literally, when I talked about Racine, Wisconsin, and them boys were dunking on us left and right, DP. We still talking about Racine 31 years ago.
Hey, man.
That game against Michigan is something that you refer back to as a motivational tool and something that you don't ever want to feel again.
I got a ton of questions for you. 5 o'clock hour. I got a ton of questions for you. Rapid fire.
About Racine?
About
you ever been to Racine?
Yeah, I've been to Racine.
It's Racine.
Yeah.
It's on like Racine.
We're
going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
Jay, former DP, then I guess I'm on the hot seat.
Yikes.
Do we got the
You
timer?
ain't even coaching your seat's hot.
That's what I'm saying. All right, man. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
What is Casasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Casasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Casasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Casasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Is this you? You feel the same way every day, and it's not good. You may think there's a magic pill that can fix you. There isn't. Limitless Male has found that the majority of men who admit they feel bad are suffering with low testosterone, which can cause these symptoms: low energy, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, low libido. Sound familiar? Get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. Your first consult is free. Insurance accepted.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Great news! I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent Vinny Krekak at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, but it's not just me. Folks all over town are having success with the FXB program. Guys like Gary, who just finished up his own 10-week challenge.
Yeah, Mark. After having a knee replacement in March, I was looking for a way to get back into shape. The workouts are fun. The atmosphere is a total blast. And I've lost 17 pounds since starting in July.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mostly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot this afternoon as well, with a high around 94. Tonight, mainly clear skies will be warm with an overnight low of around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are likely. We'll see an afternoon high of around 82. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Jay Foreman DP, 5 o'clock hour. Beginning of fall. It used to be nice and bright. Now you see it starting to get a little darker a little earlier. Old School brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill. Every type of meat and every type of cut. Go in there and ask them what's up. See what they got for you. Friday specials are on their website for their lunch specials, that is. It'd be good to get on a lunch, nice little Mercado lunch special before the Illinois game. So
Thursday night, 6 p.m., 11th and O Street. Ribbon cutting grand open. Official.
There it is.
Official.
Isn't it 1040 O Street?
1040 is the side building, is where the mail goes. But to tell people, just go to the corner of the 11th though.
Yeah.
Just go to the corner of the 11th though. If you can't find us at the corner of 11th though, just go ahead and get an Uber and ride home. Because you drank too much.
There it is.
it's that thing. Listen, great food. Of course, Charles Phillips has hooked us up. Mary Ellen's. Canes will be here. We'll have all sorts of folks. Still, we're going to do this thing. Invite you in. You don't even need an invite other than my saying, hey, come on in. Come on in, meet everybody, see the place, have a cup of coffee at the mill, have something nice to eat. Come on and hang out for a little bit. Of course, that night at 6 o'clock, it's Thursday night. So the Amon Green show, then the DeMornay Pearsonell show, and then Heart of a Husker. We've got a full night for you Thursday. So come on down and see us.
There it is.
Jay.
What's up?
Questions, sir. Questions.
I'm looking at the text line. They ain't on here. What's up?
Listen.
I got one from AA, Ron, but go ahead.
No, that's a good one to start with.
It says, Jay, honest question. Just trying to understand. Didn't these players have to be tough and play hard in high school or wherever they transferred from? What happened that they all of a sudden can't get after it? I think a multitude of things. I think you get caught up in the title. You see this a lot of times with coaches too. You can get caught up in the tidal wave of being the only show in town. You can lose a little bit of your edge if you're not internally motivated and always kind of pushing the goal line personally farther and farther. But then also, I think the difference between wherever you transferred from and high school, especially, this is a different animal. And it takes superior laser-like focus to be successful. And it takes that to be successful in college. And football from those different levels, in particularly high school, and just say you're coming from a place where you didn't play that much. A lot of it's mental. And mental isn't just knowing the game. It's mentally to be focused and mindful. You know, the thing is like, you know, there's the old saying, like, being mentally tough versus emotions, right? Emotions keep you in bed, right? When you're emotional, like you'll be in bed, right? As you know, you wake up at 6, it'd be 6 p.m., right? Eating popcorn and watching Netflix. That's emotionally keep you in there. Mm-hmm. Mentally tough when you got to get up even when you don't want to. That's what mentally tough is.
Yep.
So that's what happens when you don't want to work or you don't want to study more, or you have to decide between, am I going to jump on the sticks, which is PlayStation, and play 2 hours or 4 hours instead of 3 hours of PlayStation, or I'm going to put an extra hour in to study, or I'm going to put an extra hour in over at the stadium, or I'm going to hit weights harder or whatever, or I'm going to stay hydrated, you know, ever since the game's over or something like that. That's mental toughness. So that's where all of a sudden it can go. And then also one of the big things here is that no matter what you do around here, or at least it had been, you had been treated as if you were a national champion. And when over time, yes, the standard cannot be under any circumstances try to repeat the 90s, right? And that most likely, first of all, it ain't never been done before, you know, to repeat that, except for like Alabama and their run. They've done it 2 or 3 times, but the way that we did it, it most likely won't happen again. But when you don't recognize it and don't recognize how it was built, then you tend to focus on everything besides the main thing. The main thing is to play good football. All the things that come with being a college football athlete, in particular here at Nebraska, because this is what we're talking about, will come tenfold after that. But sometimes you can be so short-sighted and fixated on the quick, like in your face, like the initial stuff, that you lose the motivation. Like Matt Rule said, I want guys not to be thinking about NIL, NFL. Hear Dion talk about all that. Yes, you have aspirations. Everybody probably has aspirations. But do you really act like it? Do you really act like it? Do you put forth the effort to it? Because even if you don't reach the goal of the NFL, you'd be a 10 times better college football player than someone playing right now.
Well, I mean, big part
playing
a big part. My college coach used to ask the question, "What kind of rep was that? What kind of rep did you just put out?"
Oh yeah.
What kind of rep?
Oh,
like he simplified it all the time.
Oh yeah.
And the rep changed my performance. It changed my preparation. It changed my recovery. It changed everything.
Right.
And so as a coach, you tend to want to get into that space. And I worry because we were always told, never accept anything given, only accept what is earned. Nothing given, everything earned.
But it's hard to differentiate for these kids because number one, we didn't have all the distractions, but number two, we didn't have. I mean, you see guys get ran over sometimes, and next thing you know, they don't know the difference because everybody's telling them, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I can't even tell you. I mean, Jamal Lewis is my best friend. I would trust him with anything, okay? Me and him been down like 4 flat tires from knee high to grasshopper, whatever you want to call it. That's my dude. I got ran over by Eddie George. I had 4 text messages for him. One was like, are you okay? They was clowning. Number 2 is, you better get him back. Number 3, call me. I know you mad. Number 4, why you ain't call me? See, we didn't get away with that. And so I think that what happens is sometimes you can get like caught. I call it the tidal wave. You get caught up in here. And then you kind of just, you like the steaks and sweatsuits. But I like, I like the steak and sweatsuits.
But I like getting in my. That's not exclusive to Nebraska. This is the part.
It's not exclusive to Nebraska.
That Georgia gets the steak and sweatsuits and they play hard and they win.
Right.
Alabama gets the stakes and sweatsuits, and they play hard and win. Notre Dame, Duke gets this. We are in an excuse society, and that bothers me.
Here they do it.
It bothers me
sometimes
that the excuse is sought way more than the solution.
Right. Yeah.
And,
well, there's a difference between facts. That's not an excuse.
Uh-huh.
And an excuse just so you can validate your present day behavior.
Right.
Right. And that's why I talked to you about double jeopardy. Like, it's not going to validate, like, what you did in the past ain't going to validate what you're doing right now, or what whoever coach here before did is not going to validate what we're doing now. We got to change the standard. I think, like, I will argue to the cows come home that coaching at Alabama and Georgia with those type of players, Notre Dame or whatever, is harder to corral them mentally than it is anybody at Nebraska. And I can give you this thing right, because majority of the guys that come there, right, USC, Tech, all those schools, right, high draft guy, Ohio State and all them, because Michigan as well, because those guys realistically, when they get on campus, okay, they're making their decision because they actually have a realistic path to go to the pros. I didn't have that when I came here. I had to make your way. So those dudes are blessed with stuff that the majority of the high school athletes that are running around here don't. They're like Chris Jenkins Jr., right? 6'4.5" already had come out of high school. Bloodlines, right? Dad and uncle, both all pros. 200 and I think I looked, he was 275 pounds. So he just had to get better, right? But he had to go to a place that was going to get him better quicker, right? So that's hard to manage from a, what do they call them, Generation Z? Is that what they are? I don't know what these new dudes are. They might be X, Y, Z, A, B, C, all the whatever they are, because they're actually making choices to go to the pros.
There are people in this generation who put in the work.
Right.
There are people who don't. There are people who make, and I'm not a member of the club that says I need the excuse.
Right, but that's not an excuse. That's actually a factual circumstance. You compare Chris Jenkins Jr. Versus somebody that's here, it's totally like recruiting him is different.
Well, they're second generation to third generation guys here on this roster now.
No. I don't care about that.
Okay.
His dad and his uncle, because he's the thing is, you're managing bigger egos and everything coming out, like realistic ones. Not these like fictitious ones. These are dudes, okay, from the region of the countries. You talk about John Thompson. He knows where you're going to go to get the bill. He's from he's a DMV kid. He's tough. You know what his parents are made of. He's played against top competition. He's went to all these stupid camps and done everything you need to. So everything like managing those type of personalities and that type of pressure and those type of programs I could argue that it's harder. But then on the flip side, I could say it's harder to manage it here because you're treated as that, right?
Without having earned it.
Exactly.
Without having been put in the work. But if your kids show bad behavior in public, you don't blame the child. You blame the parent for not doing the work before you go out in public. Like, I say it all the time. Don't bring your bad kid over to my house
easy, like,
and not expect rules, because when they get to my house, they're rules.
Yeah, but at some point in time, these dudes got to be playing football, man. I mean, I get it. You can blame the coaches, but whether excuses or blaming, you play football. Like defense ain't that hard. There's one dude running with the ball. Go over and hit him.
But
okay,
that's what I agree.
At the end of the day, if you're offensive lineman and he's there, go knock his head off. So I mean, like at the end of the day,
we need more foremen.
If I run around and I do cartwheels and I end up getting a tackle, it don't matter what happens before. Like, yes, the coaches set forth the plan, and we came from a different.
Would you allow? This was the hot seat where I was going. Would you as a linebackers coach?
Come on, man. I like the linebacker coach.
I haven't said anything negative about the linebacker coach.
I know, but you're asking me if I was him, so you're actually.
No, I'm asking if you were a linebacker coach.
Okay, if I was a linebacker coach, yeah.
If you were a linebackers coach, would you have any player on your look at Jay's face?
Would I have any player what, man?
Okay. if you had a middle linebacker who got ran over 2 consecutive plays.
Yeah. Well, I got ran over before.
So what was the appropriate response? Was it to leave him out there with his head spinning, seeing moon, stars, old Popeye cartoons in his head, or would you get him out
when I got ran over by Eddie George, I think I might have got up as fast as I could because I wanted to make sure nobody saw it. But the dang people down in Nashville played that thing on a loop. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what did I do? Y'all supposed, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. Right. Then the crowd going to cry, but I could tell you, boy, I chased him like no other.
Like you fix it, right? You fix it.
Yeah, I try to.
If let's say you're in Houston and it happened. Let's say Foots was down there and Foots simply decided to take a play off and you got double teamed. And when y'all got back in the huddle, there's a discussion going on, correct?
Yeah, or we get it in between. We're going to work it out. I mean, it happens. I mean, it happens, you know. So, I mean, I think
I want is that when things go wrong or when they're coachable, teachable, learnable moments, that we stop and take them and get better for it. Like that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do
everything
much
on Friday night.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do much like as the series going on. I mean, as a player, if you're trying to coach me about 2 plays ago, I'm giving you the finger. Whatever, man. You know, I'll be over there in a second, hopefully. You know, but then you know, I mean, we made a lot of adjustments at every level that I was in. You know, that I've been in. You know, as far as defensive adjustments. I'm trying to just rack my brains here. Like obviously in college we did, Buffalo we did. Matter of fact, the great thing about Buffalo was I didn't play much at the beginning, and then I got in, and a lot of the things that we just huddled as linebackers, you know, because I was mainly on special teams, and so I would kind of be like the assistant coach along with this dude named Chuck Lester. And the NFL is different because you just don't have the depth of. I mean, it's either the starter and backup, and depending on what's happening on the other positions, you might only have 3 inside linebackers. Right. And so there isn't a bunch of huddling if you're not the starter because they used to bring us pitchers. Mm-hmm. And so you'd have to flip through the pitchers, you know, 4 pitchers to see the play. But you got to hold each other accountable. I'm going to tell you this story, man. And this is one of my favorite dudes. His name was Sean Price. And this is how I met Sean Price. So I'm drafted late. Right. And so I know I'm not starting or whatever. I'm just hoping I can get on the practice squad or something, you know, because I'm looking at the numbers. Right. And so we had a lot of linebackers and they said I was so high on the board, they took me. Right. So I'm like, we'll see what happens. So we go into the meeting, and when at Buffalo, the facility we had this little meeting room, you know, with the whole defense. And so there was 2 spots open. One was to sit next to Ted Washington, and he just would look at rookies bad. So I was intimidated.
Was he wearing the overalls with no shirt?
No, that's Vince Wilfork. Ted Washington would be in flip-flops in the wintertime. I mean, they called him Mount Washington. But Ted's one of my best friends now. Or sit next to this dude named Sean Price. And he used to wear these sunglasses that looked like he bought them at the gas station. And the thing about Sean Price was he played at the University of Pacific before they went defunct, but his pointer finger, it was cut off, right? But he would get out there and he had like no ACL in one knee, and he had to wear this big old brace, would be out there putting in work. And so I sat next to him, and I never forget is that he's a kicker at Buffalo, and he would drink Pedialytes like no other. So we became friends because we both were backups. So we played against Curtis Martin against the Jets, and it was a big game for AFC East title. And we ran this stunt where he lined up in a 3-tech wide 3, then he would shoot the gap into the A, and we would kind of switch. Well, I took on Pete Kendall. I know I did because I felt it. Mm-hmm. And, the Curtis Martin still hit it, right? It's 1 back, 1 gap. It's you own your gap. And I was square and everything. So we end up giving up a field goal. And so, things are hot. He comes over there, man, and he got the sheets just like this. He got this in my grill like this. Like, hey, don't let this, hey, there goes the Gatorade. Let's go at it, right? And we're going nose to nose. And I was like, M&F, I was in the gap. No, you weren't. Well, long story short, Sean, they blocked back the scheme, right? So Kevin Mawai blocked back on Ted Washington, and they kind of wrapped around with a kind of a trap block. Well, he ended up in the other A gap. Curtis Martin hit it in his A gap. But that's what you need, though. You need that friction. You know what I'm saying? You need, he need to call me out. Then there was time like Kali Wong down in against, I told you about Michael Vick when they got me. Man, I'm telling you, that's the longest run. Now, we did get off the field, but that's the longest run for me ever. I knew I messed up. Kali Wong got his clock cleaned, right? So he mad at me too. So that's my boy. He mad at me. Jamie Sharper mad at me because he's like, you don't make no mistakes. You make. And they've been telling me for 2 weeks, you got to guard the running back just in case they throw a screen. Whatever. I didn't hit Byron Leftwich so hard I thought he was dead. I got Peyton Manning. I got a sack on Peyton Manning. Well, here comes Michael Vick and them. Rolled all the way right. Guess what Jay Foreman did? Oh, you blocking? I'm gone. Whoop. Throw it back over. Now we end up stopping him. So I'm running from all the way, third down. There's Dom Capers. I'll never forget this. I wanted to be on special teams punt return so bad. Dom Capers, Kylie Wong, because he got peeled back block on, and Reggie Herring. Kylie's mad at me because he up there make me feel bad. He emotional, dude.
Dom Capers almost bit his lip off.
Dom just looking at me. Right? He's looking at me bad. So Dom's looking at me over here. Kylie's over there disappointed in me, and right? Because Kylie's the one that's been telling me, right? So instead of me guarding the running back, the tight end came back and cleaned his clock. You know what I'm saying? And there's Reggie. Takes the headphones off. Red as this bottle, if you can see it. And he giving me the business. I mean, just what the heck are you doing? This, and this. And I'm like, my bad. He was like, F my bad. We've been telling you for weeks, this, and this. I was like, I know. He was like, well, no, you didn't know because you ain't been listening. Da. You know what I mean? Well, finally, I had enough. I was like, well, what you going to do then, right? Reggie was like, what's up? I was like, let's go, right? Kylie breaks it up. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you need, though.
This team needs it. Just saying.
I'm telling you.
Just saying.
If you don't think Christian Peter and Jason Peter, they did. I can tell you this right now. They would tell you they knew about coverages. All they knew if you getting beat. Jason Peter would go down there and get after people, and they would get back. Mike Brown said, "Jason, get out of here. We got it covered. You need to go pass rush more." That's the way it is, man. Football is a game of friction. I mean, it is, and it's got to be that. And so that's where leaders are born, and that's where championships are won. So that's a bow on Michigan. Now we're going to dive into, because I think there's some interesting things with this Illinois game that we need to touch on early in the week because the game's on Friday, right? Because you got the our show will be more, I'm assuming on Thursday.
Pre-game show.
Will be dedicated. Yeah, it will, but Thursday be dedicated to the ribbon cutting and stuff like that. So we need to dive into it early. So after this break, dive into Illinois. There's 2 or 3 players that Nebraska needs to focus on. They corral them. This could be a blowout victory. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What would you tell a friend who was on the fence about going to Limitless Mail?
I would tell them to go to Limitless today. Don't hesitate. You're going to second guess yourself on if it's the right decision. The staff there is amazing. The treatments work. I'm living proof it can completely change your life for the better.
Join thousands of men who have changed their lives with testosterone treatment. Slow down the aging process and live life. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. For sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben sandwich or the prime rib French dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent Vinny Krekak at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mostly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot this afternoon as well, with a high around 94. Tonight, mainly clear skies will be warm with an overnight low of around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are likely. We'll see an afternoon high of around 82. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I ain't mad at him. Go ahead and get him, man. Get that money, young man. We're back old school. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin on the ones and twos. We're live on Allo channel 951. Illinois week. Turn the page and, a big challenge. I think the one thing about Illinois is that, last year they were built on the run. This year they haven't been able to get the run going. So I think one of the things that Nebraska has to do a really good job of, obviously, is focusing their defensive efforts to Isaiah Williams. He's been pretty much a 100-yard receiver every game, so that means he's going to get a volume of opportunities, right? And what I mean by that is that's going to be their first read majority of the time, and they'll force him the ball, right? So then therefore that's going to open up opportunities for defenders to make plays on the ball. So there's no excuse not to know who their number one receiver is. Now, Patrick Bryant, he's a big old receiver, kind of a possession receiver. You got to obviously lock in on him, but you got to make sure that with him, you can't be so focused on Isaiah Williams that you allow Patrick Bryant to, turn into a Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. And then rushing wise, it's either McCray or Brown, depending on, who's healthy or not. And so McCray played last game. Purdue did a pretty good job overall on their run game, which made Altmaier try to be a passer, which didn't work out really well. And so if Nebraska starts off well and bounces back, right, they need to bounce back as far as where they're at defense. And the reason why I started with defense first is because, Matt Rule, like everybody knows, is a defense-led team. So they have to, start off fast and set the tone, especially on the road, right? Whether they kick or receive, defense has to answer the bell the first series and however many you got. Now, offensively, they're led by their defensive line. But the amount of rushing yards they've been giving up, it lets me know their second and third level isn't as crisp. You had 4 NFL players last year in the defensive backfield. Chase Brown, who or his brother, was pretty dang good. I think he plays a lot for the Saints. I think I saw him this week, and I was flipping around. He plays a lot, and he was a good football player. And they had a first round corner that could lock up the half of the field, so that gives you a lot of flexibility to start sending more bodies against the run. They don't have that flexibility this year.
No, they're bad tacklers, bad angle setters.
Right.
There's a lot of room for success.
Right.
There.
Well, you see with Purdue, they had a 120-yard rusher, then Hickabee, from last year that really ate us up. He had like 80 yards, and essentially the starter and the backup had 200 yards rushing. So it allowed Purdue to be on schedule from a passing standpoint. But up front, what you have to do is Newton and Randolph. Number 2 and 88. 49 is the same linebacker. He's an outside linebacker. He's 6'5", 245. He's a true freshman last year. He's the one that hit Casey on elbow-to-elbow contact, right? Elbow-to-elbow crime. He had the big old elbow pad, hit Casey on his nerve, knocked him out for a few games, changed the landscape of the season. Those 3 guys you have to have a handle on. How do you handle them? You have to have different blocking schemes. Now you got to, DP, we talked about, you got to complete them now. You can't just, listen, 88 and number 4 they're both 6'3", 300 pounds and can move. Okay. If you miss them completely, then you're just doing it with your eyes closed. So you're going to have to mix up the blocking schemes. And I would say you need to be to the second level late. If I'm talking to Anthony Grant, it's your job to make those linebackers look as bad as everybody else. And you got to mix up the running plays. You can't just kind of run power. They haven't been playing as well as on the edges as far as outside zone, kind of like that, G schemes and stuff like that.
That wasn't how Purdue had to approach them. Purdue simply said, we're going to point of attack +1 and let's just ride with it.
But they just doubled. They kind of like submarined them. They just stayed on the double team really long. And so, I think if they take that type of mindset, and if you want to pull, a G scheme or something, obviously Ethan Piper or something like that can run a little bit. You just got to make sure you hit the outside guys. So, I mean, there's plenty of hay to be had.
I was stunned at how bad the tackling was for Illinois.
Well, but you should be stunned. The reason why you're stunned is because how good of a tackling team they were last year.
Right. They looks different.
They were a veteran defense mixed in with special young players. It was a unique mixer because you weren't here yet, DP, or maybe you were, When Scott Frost and them went up to Illinois in, I think, his first year, they beat the brakes off of them.
That was wasn't that the Adrian Wandale game?
Yeah. And they were all freshmen. Well, you've played against those grown men mixed in with some COVID seniors. So you got double. You got pretty much rookie NFL rookies out there. That's why they were so good at tackling. And Ryan Walters was the defensive coordinator who is now at Purdue. The thing that was weird is weird to me is now I know Brett Bielema was breaking in a new defensive coordinator, but with Jim Leonard being the assistant or associate head coach in defense, I'm surprised that they gave up that many explosive plays in the run game and was not very good in the pass game.
Yeah, they didn't do anything well.
Yeah. They didn't. What I mean is everybody worked out on them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, okay, we're going to come in and we're going to force Purdue to pass. Okay, we're going to be a little bit softer against the run, but we're going to make sure that we focus in on this type of pass play, this type of this player. They just kind of came in and just was like practicing
whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah,
they
did. All right, yeah, we'll a little cover 2, cover 4, and they were just getting roasted. And then also it didn't help that they were put in some bad situations as far as sudden change.
But don't we not want to we don't want to like devalue Illinois because we've done that before here and it didn't turn out
That's
well.
what I'm saying. You can take, but that's why I said you got to. We can't view, and this is also one thing that's weird. We can't view other people's success as ours.
Yeah,
we've done that way too much with the whole UCF thing, and we were like UCF of the Midwest. We were cheering for them as much as we were the Huskers, and you know what I mean. When Scott first got here, so what I mean is we can't take the success that Purdue had and think it's our success. What we need to do is take the concepts and the ideas that Purdue approached the game with, and match it in as much as we can with ours without losing our identity. And then you'll start to see. Okay, well, I see. Some things from week to week or from what happened last week against Purdue that could happen against Nebraska on a Friday night will be huge. Tackling for us is going to be huge. They're going to I'm telling you what they're going to do. Illinois is going to do. They're going to try to establish their run game, controlled passing game, feed Isaiah Williams, see if he can get some run after the catch, and then try to take a shot at the 45-yard line, or if you're not, you try to get some penalties, throw a jump ball, kind of like Minnesota did to the big receiver.
They missed a lot of 50-50 balls offensively, and then they just made bad reads on 50-50 balls defensively.
Yeah,
like just bad angles. It was weird to see the athletes that Illinois has and on the back end, and to see them be constantly unathletic. It was like, oh, he's going to get there and pick this one off. Nope, he's 2 steps late, and it's a score. That was literally the whole Purdue game.
But you know what that is? That's that air raid offense attacking a inexperienced athletic back end.
Yeah.
And it's not just the back end or back 4 or 5, right? In our case, right? It's a second level. So what made that defense go last year was that front 7. Now,
yeah, we liked it because we saw them. We talked about it at Big Ten Media.
Yeah, that front 7 made that defense go.
Don't forget about Witherspoon, though.
No, we're not.
But
the thing is, Witherspoon can cover a lot more aggressive when that front 7 is allowed to just go hunt, and that second level is freeing up Brown and the other safety to either help all the way across the field. It was a great defense overall. But what I mean is you're able to really highlight Witherspoon's pluses, and he's a lockdown corner, right? He's the best corner in the nation. So a corner can't make it go without the front 7 doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? It gives them freedom to be great. That's how you become great. How Dion was when he goes into San Fran. Well, then all of a sudden Charles Haley goes back to the Charles Haley we liked, right? Or
and went wild.
Went wild. Oh well, they like, oh, he got a resurgence. They probably say he changed his diet. No, the diet is 21 over there because he's locking down half the quarter. Then that's how you're able to go get a Tim McDonald and all those guys. So I think just with Nebraska is just got to listen. We got to figure out what we want to do well. We have to figure out ourselves and have to have these hard talks with ourselves, apply it to the practice field, and then apply it to the game plan. Don't go in there and try to be.
Execution is. I mean, Matt Rule said it day one. Part of the brand is execution. They've got to be able to execute.
Let me ask you guys this: on that 4th and 1 play, okay, asking you how do you think we got beat on that play?
High hats and
or what position group?
Offensive line.
What do you think?
Is there any answer but offensive line on 4th and 1?
Yeah, there is.
Well, the scheme, it's a bad scheme.
Okay,
position group offensive line, but I think you have to at least raise your eyebrow at the play call.
Right. You know how that play got stymied and stopped? Was the tight end position. Tight end position, number 44, got flat out destroyed. He's normally a good blocker. He went against McGregor, not Conor McGregor. He went against Aiden Hutchinson 2.0, his little brother, and that's how that play got stymied. Now, granted, yes, high hats and all that, sure. But at the end of the day, that dude made a play and flat out destroyed the play. Now, how do you circumvent that, right? You know you're running the play, right? You know you're running that ball. You already told Michigan you're running the ball. This is the funny thing about the play. And it's not funny because we got a butt kick. Okay, so on one side of it, you got Teddy Prohaska and Bryce Benhart. So you already letting them know you're running the ball, right? And granted, 44 probably is your best blocking tight end. But when you came off the sideline, you had no intentions ever to pass. So to circumvent that, to help, and you don't call the play thinking 44 is going to get taken from the tight end position to the center position, and that's why you can't get downhill and run it. So to circumvent that, you actually should have brought in Borkature instead of having Bullock in there. I don't need Bullock to shake and bake and try to go. You ain't going out nowhere, man. You ain't Randy Moss, right? So to do that, you could have.
Borkature was in. He was at the top.
Well, 44 got beat.
Along with Fidone. Well, 44 is back in. He's back in. So he's
right. So he got destroyed.
He got collapsed. But that's the last dude who should be make that. Is that?
That's the dude that made the play. That's why that dude.
No. Okay, so I actually have it queued up slow for it. Right. There are no wins. First of all.
No, but in that you're not gonna have noticeable win.
So he's expecting the chip, gets the chip late.
No, right? He ain't getting the chip. He got destroyed. Dude, you got It's just not magnificent delicious. You got magnificently destroyed. What you need to do.
Didn't they all?
But to get 1 yard, look where he goes from. Look where he goes from. He is past the hash.
If Harburg's under center,
well,
he can't make that play.
I'm not talking about if. I'm talking about for that play.
Yeah.
To give yourself more advantageous opportunity. Mm-hmm. You're not changing the play. Bullock don't need to be in there.
Facts.
Okay. So you put another tight end in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way you're kind of doubling down on that dude. Because that dude's playing run all day.
The guy that made the play, that ended up making the play that you're talking about, went 1 against 2, made the play on the third on the quarterback. He beat 44, he beat Grant, and he got to Harburg.
Right. So but he beat 44.
But there's a whole lot of bodies on the ground.
But that's the way it's going to be on 4th and 1. I'm not saying that the play like you couldn't run another play, you couldn't go under that. But the thing is like what I'm talking about is the importance of when you're not at the point of attack, you actually are on.
Right.
Yeah. So there is no playoff. Like that block is important because it's
not an important role throughout the field.
Because I could even point to South Carolina against Michigan that put Javion Clowney on it. Slip right in there. Oh, wow, it's an ISO away. Well, that put him on the map. There's plenty of J.J. Watt made a killing off of that. Big ups to him going in the Ring of Fame Sunday as well. But that's the type of play that could be game changing, and that's the type of mindset that you have to make sure you repair by when you get on the plane Thursday morning or whatever to go to Champaign or Thursday afternoon. Is that you have to understand. There is no off play. There is no I can kind of go through the motions. Every block, every step, every play is 4th and 1. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that 100%.
So that's just now granted, they didn't have a lot of wins on there, but they didn't have that's a direct access. He literally took you down there and said, listen, why don't you go hang out with your boy Harburg? Yes, of course, everybody wants to do the, was a tush push or whatever and all that stuff, and then that's fine. But when you have a tight end position on a kind of a seal block, right? When you have inside position of them, first of all, I'm willing to bet the footwork's bad. The footwork had to be bad for you to raise up and get just destroyed like that. It's a learning experience because I think his name is Lindenmeyer. Has been your probably, if not your best blocking tight end, he's definitely he's done a lot of good work blocking. But he just, was just caught slipping, and that's what happens. That's how you stop somebody on 4th and 1 is somebody gets caught slipping. You have to take the pride in saying I'm not going to be that guy, right? I'm not going to be that guy to get beat. We talked about it in Minnesota, 4th and 10, game on the line. We just dropped the interception. I can't get beat on an outside move. I can't be that guy. So, I think those are the little things that are hurting the team. If they do that on the road against Illinois, because Illinois, as much as Nebraska could be a fragile team, Illinois is even more fragile. They had high expectations. They were the Cinderella, the bride of the ball or whatever last year. They come in with higher expectations, so you just assume that they're going to be good, and they have not met their expectations or what have been the assumptive expectations, and they have no answers. Now, granted, we didn't have the expectations that they have, but they are ripe for the picking, so you got to go take it.
Austin, get us out of here, man. Dude, I've looked at it 6 times, and it gets worse every time I look at it.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 3rd are buy a New York strip and get a free finished flat iron steak. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Great news. I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent Vinny Krekak at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
What would you tell a friend who was on the fence about going to Limitless Mail?
I would tell them to go to Limitless today. Don't hesitate. You're going to second guess yourself on if it's the right decision. The staff there is amazing. The treatments work. I'm living proof that it can completely change your life for the better.
Join thousands of men who have changed their lives with testosterone treatment. Slow down the aging process and live life. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns.
Here are your Week 5 high school football results. In city matchups, number 4 Waverly had a big matchup against number 5 ranked York. Waverly would win in a dominant fashion 28-0, led by Aiden Smith with 3 touchdowns. Lincoln Pius 10th would fall short against Crete in a one-score game, losing 30-26. Crete would come back to win it after being down by 10 in the fourth. Lincoln Northwest would lose to Gretna East 35-7. Miller North beat Lincoln Southeast 49-28. Parkview Christian beat Sterling 26-12, and Lincoln Lutheran would also take a loss to Wilbur Clatonia 42-13. Switching to volleyball on Monday, September 25th, Lincoln East defeated Omaha Marion in 3 sets, and Lincoln Lutheran won over Syracuse in 3 sets as well. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Are you looking for a night of epic fun without breaking the bank? Look no further than Sun Valley Lanes and Games. Join us for our late night special every Sunday through Thursday night and enjoy non-stop action with our Unlimited Fun promotion. Unlimited Fun includes everything you need for an unforgettable night out. Unlimited bowling, unlimited laser tag, and unlimited lucky putt mini golf. Show a valid college or military ID at check-in and get $2 off your admission. Visit the daily rates page at sunvalleylanes.com for complete details.
Sun Valley.
Something spooktacular is happening at Bonsall Pool and Spa. From now until October 14th, visit the Bonsall Spooktacular sale to take advantage of this great cash and carry offer. $400 off all in-stock free-flow spas. Also, customers can take 10% off spa chemical and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free flow spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mostly sunny skies. Will be breezy and hot this afternoon as well, with a high of around 94. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Will be warm with an overnight low of around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are likely. We'll see an afternoon high of around 82. Meteorologist Kyle Putner from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey man, I gotta get out of here. This is ridiculous. I can't start my Monday. I can't. I've already had a day. I already had a rough day, Austin. That last stuff that I just heard right there, I have got to go.
Sorry, we're piling on, Jay.
I
That's not the intent.
I am finished. I am finished for today. I'm done, man.
He's taking a mental health segment.
Hey,
He was
yes,
like-
friends and family, I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm mentally worn out. I can't take no more.
Because I'm Team J, I'll hit the bumper music. Just
Yeah,
for
man,
you.
we're out of here. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully, I take I might need an R&R day.
Austin, who's sitting outside? Who's up next?
We got number 30.
Yeah,
Amon
let's
Green.
get it. Let's get it.
I'll let y'all gang up on him, man. I'm out of here.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures